NBA Straya, how are you going? How you going? Good? You should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, it's Saturday and basketball. Give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Yeah! That's right. It is a bit of Saturday NBA Straya. I am your host, James Clements, here in Larry Armour's studios. We're talking Saturday Game 6s, which was very, very fun. I've had a pretty busy day. I've now caught up, and I'm ready to talk about the basketball. My beloved Pistons, I'll get to that later. Forced Game 7, James Harden, big game James, steps up again. Oh, no, he didn't, did he? And the Spurs absolutely shit-pumped the Timberwolves and booked their Western Conference Finals ticket to take on OKC. So we're going to wrap up those games. We'll give away some awards, and then we'll basically do a pick and preview for Monday's Game 7, baby, between Pistons and the Cavs. And that's the only Game 7 we've got, which is kind of neat. And we'll also sort of talk out, I guess, the start of the Western Conference Finals, because that's now a thing that's going to be happening. Okay, so he's like, oh, we're going to play more basketball. Yeah, sick. So that'll be it for today. No yeah-nahs or anything. We'll leave that till Monday's show. So without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1406 of NBA Straya. Let's go.
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Dyson Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
You better. Oh, you better watch out for the attack of just so many things to do. Just kids' birthday parties, Auskick, it's all going on. Your mate Jim's trying to watch basketball on his phone. Good times. Great memories. Anyway, what a day this was in the NBA. Let's start today's show the way we start every show here at NBA Australia with the daily... Oh, is it a whip around, Jim? Yes, it's always a whip around. That's how this thing goes. Yeah. I guess the news really today is the MVP finalists were announced. We're going to find out who the MVP was. So American time, Sunday, May 17th. What are they doing with these weird Sunday announcements? Like we did the draft lottery, middle of the... What the... Anyway... The three finalists are a bit of a shock to nobody. SGA, Nikola Jokic, hello. I do need to give SGA something, a little bit something. It needs some more flavour to SGA. SGE, because he's Canadian. SGE, that sounds all right. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, GE. Yeah, there you go. And Victor Wembanyama was the third one, which is pretty cool. So they're going to announce that. For the Sunday show, which is basically before Game 7, the baby, between Pistons Cavs, which is kind of fun. So yeah, but at least it's not like a crazy middle of the afternoon finagling, right? They're just going bang, bang, Game 7, prime time. So that's fun. The weird part is it's on Amazon Prime in the US. I feel like that seems to be a bit weird. I feel like you want your Game 7 in front of as many eyeballs as possible, but then again, I don't run the NBA. Not yet. So, who you got? SGA, Jokic, or Wemby? I ended up going with Jokic, I think, at the end of the season. Just that year was insane. He's just absurd. His numbers are absurd. He's an absurd dude. SGA, very, very good. One of the great guard seasons, but just the weight of numbers at some point. You just go, come on, what are we doing? And Wemby feels like, yeah, he'll get one next year, I reckon. And that's kind of it. There's not a giant amount of other news, really. They've got like, basically there's like all this weird off-season chatter. And I'm like, would you shut up about Giannis and Kawhi and LeBron? Like, we've got all fucking off season to talk about that shit. We're right in the middle of the guts of the fucking playoffs. The second round hasn't even finished. And you're like, but where's Giannis going to go? You know what fucking matters in the NBA? Who wins the title? Because you know what you're trying to do when you get Giannis? You're trying to win the title. And currently, there are 5 teams remaining who can win the fucking NBA title. I feel like that's the thing we should be a little bit more focused on. But Jim, trades are really interesting. You know what trades are geared towards? They're geared towards making your team better so you can win the title. I feel like we keep fucking forgetting that. What are we doing? So, look, I'm not going to put a moratorium on talking about Giannis and Kawhi and LeBron and off-season shit, but it's just, can we all get a fucking grip? It's just a bit fucking much, isn't it? Anyway, I did very much, in fact, enjoy a bit of a old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no
Old
mates.
mate, no
Old mate, no
mates.
mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates.
Who's got no mates? Miles Turner throwing Doc Rivers and Giannis under the bus was pretty how you going. Because this sort of does feed into, I guess, then a bit of that off-season vibe of Miles Turner going, yeah, Doc didn't fine anybody for being late and it was just a shit show. Giannis would rock up and just make everyone fucking wait for like 2 hours and you're like, that sucks. What a dickhead. So, yeah, can't imagine that Miles Turner is going to get any Lego from Giannis this coming Christmas. Anyway, and look, there's sort of more chatter out there about LeBron and the Lakers and how it just doesn't sort of feel like he's going to end up anywhere else because of the sheer lack of a market out there and free agent money and where he could go for a reason. I don't know. But we've got plenty of time to talk that shit out, so I don't really give a fuck. So, that's like an off-season focus. We've got so much more airtime to give that when we know more. For the minute, let's talk out some of these bloody games with the gamers. Geeky more apps. Oh, the game wraps. Detroit basketball 115 versus Cleveland. Oh, yeah.
Cleveland.
94. Jim, that's a 21-point thumping. It was. It really, really was. It was the second half Pistons that came from the absolute clouds and just gave the old Cavs the old 1-2 Costa Zoo at home. The Cavs wearing those amazing throwback LeBron uniforms are beautiful, beautiful. I love those uniforms, beautiful. There's been a bit of uniform chatter as well around the NBA sphere, which is pretty fun. But I don't know. I do think, and like this is again this is actually a good conversation for when we sort of, we've only got these 1 games, per day, whatever, in the next, little bit during the conference finals. But yeah, we've gone past the point of no return, I think, with some of the fuck-ups with the stupid fucking jerseys and how we've got too many jerseys and how it sort of turns into this sort of rolling avalanche ball of bullshittery when it comes to jerseys. It's like, but the fans want them. No, the fans don't, for the most part, want to buy. And seriously, if you go look at like those the retailers that are out there, right, that sell NBA jerseys and shit like that, when you see the alternates there, just have a chat to the people who work there. It's like, does anyone buy those ones? The amount of times I've done this and they go, no, they're a fucking waste of time. That's it. The alternates fucking stink. Like all these fucking random ass fucking, we need 3 jerseys each year for a team and that's fucking it. Everything more is a bit of a fucker. But I did love, look, throwback jerseys are great. I love that because they're timeless. If they're good throwbacks, right? So, yeah. Good stuff there. Love that for Cleveland in those jerseys. But what a second half from the Detroit basketballing Pistons. 61 to 43? They outscored them. It was awesome. It was an absolute masterclass in defense and just the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cleveland!
Just packing their dacks full of just gross logs. Just, like, I don't know. The Squid's 3. He doesn't crap his pants. He's toilet trained. Cleveland should be able to not shit their pants like a 3-year-old. That's what I'm trying to get to. Anyway, but the Detroit Pistons are the people's champ. Why is that, Jim? Well, I leaned into it at the top. My beloved Pistons, because with the Pistons playing Cleveland in a Game 7 now, what that means is it pushes back the start date of the Eastern Conference Finals a couple of days, right? So, which means it coincides with me spending, I think I'm in New York for like 3 or 4 nights or whatever. And yeah, so it means I'll get a couple of Knicks playoff games whilst I'm in New York, including if Detroit win, it would be home Knick games. The place is going to be fucking bedlam. Like, there is nothing better than, as I keep fucking banging on about, New York, when their teams are in the playoffs and their teams are good, the bars are fucking bumping, everyone's fucking excited, there is a buzz, and it's chaos and it's awesome. So I'm very excited by that. Good job, Detroit. Thank you for winning. But the way they did this, it was incredible. The defense in that second half was absolutely top-notch in Cleveland as well. And they got just enough sort of secondary scoring from everybody not named Cade Cunningham. Jalen Duren actually finally fucking showed up in this series with his 15-11, 3 blocks, did a bit of everything, enjoyed that. My sweet baby Karras got him going a little bit early too. You had the Sasser, 9 points, but really, it was a 3-point shooting of, I'd like to have a beer with Duncan Robinson. He ended up with 14. He went 4 or 7 from downtown. Beautiful stuff there. And a bit of Dennis Jenkins with his 15, 3 and 3. He hit 3 threes. And of course, the found money of B-Ball Paul, who goes out with his 17 and 6. He was fucking everywhere. That shot that he hit where it just like sat on the rim for 2 minutes and then finally dropped in was absolutely immense. But there was so much bullshitty, like weird arsery stuff going on with the like Pistons in this second half. Cleveland can never really fight their way back. And it's because, look, Harden wasn't, yes, he had 8 turnovers. And I'll get to that. But he wasn't actually the worst Cav today, which is pretty crazy. But he had 23, 7 and 4. The 8 turnovers, yes, that's a fucking Barry Crocker shocker. But Donnie Mitchell was worse. Mobley didn't do himself any favors. He wasn't that bad, but Jesus. Maximus Strusicus, stupid sexy Strus, he wasn't that great either. Go the Fro, not that great. But really, Harden sort of, the turnovers, yeah, it was a bit fucky, but 20 turnovers as a team to 17. They get out rebounded. The biggest thing was they couldn't hit a fucking shot. 39% from the floor for your Cleveland Cavaliers, 12 of 35 from downtown, where the Pistons, who can't shoot a fucking lick, end up going 16 of 36. Look, and that's the exact sort of, I guess, recipe for the Pistons to win these games, right? Found money threes from Dennis Jenkins, who's like a little bit hit and cold. We know that. And Duncan Robinson fucking springing to life. Huge. And Cade Cunningham just carrying it the rest of the time, which is basically what he did. But this was such a good second half. Like there was like a moment, halfway through the fourth quarter, like they're kind of like creeping back into it. And then they just went into their shell again. Harden hit that 3 to get them back within 11. You're like, whoop, here we go. And that's like, nah. Then they really struggled for another little bit. Boom, Detroit get that Jalen Duren bucket, then another Tobias Harris did fuck all. But then they get the excellent Tobias Harris dunk, the slip over. That was pretty funny. And they sort of rolled from there. But yeah, by the time it was like 54-51 at the half, and you're like, oh, geez, Cavs came flying back out of nowhere after Detroit got up pretty big. And they get a couple of Strus threes, and you're like, oh, shit. And then just Detroit fucking suffocated them. And like Osar Thompson was awesome Thompson again, right? Like the 10 points, he was awesome. The 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, and a block. He was just absolutely unreal. So when you got him and Jalen Duren doing their shit and making Cleveland life really hard, then you can win that game. And that's what happened. It was really good. But 52% from the floor for the Pistons. They crushed it. And holding the other team, like holding them to 39 was just bloody mince. I enjoyed that quite a bit. So good job by Detroit. But really, I think just the way that they sort of managed to pull it out and the way they sort of managed to just play the game on their terms was just really, really important, at least for their psyche, right? Because Cleveland had, in winning 3 straight, had really just completely flipped the narrative, and then they finally win away from home, and off they go. And Detroit, they needed this. JB Bickerstaff came out after the game and was like, yeah, we've got to have that dog in us. And we had that. We fight, we scrap, we get it. Yeah. But goddamn, they did that really, really well. So that was awesome. Great win for the Detroit basketballing Pistons. The sweat slip over from Dean Wade, so Tobias Harris gets that dunk, was such a big fucking hello kind of moment. But yeah, big game James Harden. Like, not only is his play taking down his team, like his sweat is taking down his teammates, and crucial moments too. Yeah, not great. Not great. But anyway, great win for Pistons. Love to see that. I just love a good Game 7. Game 7, the baby! So we're 3-3 going back to Detroit. Oh, boy. And then another... Well, I mean, this game was at least really, really tense for a large swathe of it. Like, Detroit sort of took control, but we knew that Cleveland would come fighting back, and they did. That did not happen in San Antonio, Minnesota. The Spurs got out to a bit of a flyer, and then in the third quarter just kicked the ever-living shit out of them, and the game was sort of put away. It was wild because, I mean, what was it, like halfway through that third quarter, they sort of pull it back, and you're like, look out, they're down to, oh, geez. It was like 15, and you're like, that's no good. But there was a moment where they just, the start of the second quarter where they just didn't score. That was embarrassing. What was it, 36-27. They turn around and it's 56-27. You're like, oh, yeah, giving up 20-0 runs, in my experience, and I have a lot of it, isn't good. That's my expert opinion. Don't give up 20-0 runs. But really, the story for this one was Castle just being off his head. Right? Watching this, you're just like, did he just hit another one? Is that, holy shit, his hair's incredible. His game was amazing. And the Minnesota Timberwolves gacked all over themselves. Like, Randall was an absolute fucking train wreck. Ant-Man hasn't looked healthy all fucking series. No shit there. His leg bent the wrong way. It's just still fucked. And like, I mean, early on, Naz Reid was sort of flying around, causing all sorts of havoc, and you're like, this is all right. This is, yeah, fuck. And Randall being that bad was just absolute train wreck vibes. Absolute train wreck vibes. It was horrible. There's no other way to put it. I'll tell you what, it really was.
This is horrible. There's no other way to put it.
Ayo not being able to hit a shot. Ant-Man shooting 9 of 26 was pretty tough for his 24. I think the biggest difference in this series as well is that, and like this is why I picked the Spurs, and like just the perimeter defense that they can throw at someone like Minnesota who don't have like Ayo was awesome. We get that. But Ayo gets hurt. Ant-Man's carrying an injury. You don't have you basically are sitting there going, our ball handling is turning into like way too fucking much. Ant-Man trying to figure some shit out. Oh, fuck it. We'll give it to Ayo. Oh, God, we're playing Mike Conley. And, it wasn't great. And so with those injuries, it was always going to be pushing shit uphill. And this is what happens, especially when you got that perimeter defense of the Spurs. And Ant-Man's playmaking with the injury, with the suffocating D, it was always going to be tough. And, yeah, this one was a real tough one, right? 2 assists, 3 turnovers, fuck all assists all series for Ant-Man. And just Randall being so bad was hilarious, right? But look, Castle, this was the sort of superstar just showing up, showing out kind of game that you're like, oh, this is what we all fucking paid to see, isn't it? He is awesome. Because like Wemby's been really, really good for most of this series. I mean, he gets booted out, whatever. They handle him in game 1. They sort of then flip the script on the Wolves a bunch. And then sort of since then, he's just been really fucking good, very impactful. But it's been like the supporting cast that's really had these moments of like, aha, if we're all just really very good at the same time, we might win this game. And it's exactly what happened. Champagne was awesome today, but Castle was fucking astounding. God, he was good. Harper was really good again. That dude is just a gun. But yeah, you watch a game like Castle had today and you're like, oh, it feels unfair. It just feels unfair. So anyway, I guess the crucial stats, the Wolves, 38% from the floor again. Yeah, they've just had a Barry Crocker shocker of a series, haven't they? Not being able to get any shots off. They went 12 and 34 from downtown. They had only the sort of 5 turnovers, 3 of which came from Ant-Man versus the 15 for the Spurs. But the Spurs shot 56% and 18 and 38 from downtown. Absolutely carved them up. Randall was an absolute basket case. 3 points, 7 rebounds. Absolutely. A minus 34 in 24 minutes. Absurd. McDaniels at 13 on 13 shots. 24 on 26 shots for Ant-Man. 18 for Nazareth. I mentioned he was good. 18 and 7. 21 for Terrence Shannon Jr. He was very, very handy. But yeah. The 20-0 run fucking just killed him. They just got straight killed.
So he got straight killed.
Yep. We got some Joel Bettengay. Like, the game was over. Like, we actually got proper just garbage time in a game 6 closeout because they won by 30. 139-109 is 30 points, Jim. I know. 32 for Castle with 11 rebounds and 6 assists. A plus 28 for him. 5 or 7 from deep was the big one. 11 to 16 overall. You got 11 from Vassell, 21 from Fox. Really important early as well. You had Wemby with the 19, 6 and 3 blocks. 18 for Champagne. I brought the champagne. 4 of 9 from the floor, from 3. And Harper had the 15. Like, it was just, this is it. It's death by 1,000 cuts. They're all just really good. And it was just such a clinical just dismantling of the Wolves that we kind of expected. Now, I picked, the Wolves to make one last big swing, and they were just so overawed that you're like, oh, God, what are they going to do about this? Right? And you're like, oh, I think Randall has to get traded now. That's fucked. It was genuinely horrible. So anyway, 139-109. The Spurs are through to playing OKC, which is going to be awesome because now you get to watch Castle and Harper and Fox up against SGA and AJ Mitchell and a healthy Jalen Williams, apparently. So that's going to be fun on the bun. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So we should do an NBA Straya approved performer of the night, shouldn't we? Yeah, we should.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Yeah, we're going to do the Castle thing again. He had 32, 11, and 6 on the road. In a closeout game 6, he shot 11 of 16, 5 of 7 from 3, 5 of 6 at the line, a plus 28 in only 30 minutes because they just so supremely shit pumped them that it was crazy. So great job by Stephon Castle. Honorable mentions obviously going to go to Cade Cunningham because during that game, he was the only thing keeping the offense humming for very large sways of the first half. 21 points, 8 rebounds. Yes, he had the 7 turnovers. A bunch of them came early. But after that, he went 5 of 10 from deep, which is just such a big, big thing for this Detroit team that can't shoot a 3, seemingly. So when Cade's hitting a bunch, you get Duncan going off. And then you also get the 3 from Dennis Jenkins. My sweet baby hit a couple as well. Makes a big, big difference. So great job by Detroit. Cade Cunningham kept them solid, kept them okay. And then everybody else could actually sort of step up and nail some shots without the pressure on them. So that's a superstar turn right there. Castle and Cade. Sounds like a pretty shitty CBS procedural, doesn't it? It's Castle and Cade, the crossover you didn't know you needed, with Nathan Fillion from Castle and Cade Cunningham from Detroit. Sure. How about Spud of the night?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Spud of... Look, Donnie Mitchell and the Harden stuff I'll get to, but Donnie Mitchell was the worst in this game. Harden's going to cop a bunch of the flack, and 8 turnovers will do that. When you have your 5th game these playoffs where you have more turnovers than made field goals, yeah, you get a bit of the Spud of the night spotlight shone on you, but It's the 31st time James Harden's done that. He's now 4-14 in Game 6s, BT dubs. But Donnie Mitchell, he was probably worse. 6 of 20 for his 18 points, 2 of 6 from downtown, minus 25, and just looked janky, off. It was not rolling. But then obviously Julius Randle. He just went, hey, Donovan Mitchell, you reckon you're going to win Spud of the night? Hold my beer. 23 minutes, 3 points. 3. Simple as that. 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 of 8 from the floor. 1 of 8. 0 of 2 from 3, 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Minus 34 in his 23 minutes. Absolutely crazy. And Rudy Gobert as well. We want to throw him in there as well because if you go, you combine Randall and Rudy, they got outscored by Kelly Olynyk, Bismack, Sit Down, Biyombo, and Mason Plumlee. They got outscored by those guys who are the bench bigs for the Spurs, 7-3 in 19 combined minutes to 45 for the other two very highly paid blokes. So, yeah. But there was, if only there was some sort of precedence heading into this game for Julius Randle being shithouse. Oh, wait, there was. So, the second worst mark in the history of the tracking era with 300-plus direct touches in a single playoff run, Randle was so wildly inefficient, he is literally having one of the worst playoff performances we've ever seen. Only 2016 DeMar DeRozan there had a worse offensive playoffs. So Randle averaging over 2 turnovers to every assist, but they were getting 0.85 points from every direct touch from Julius Randle. So yeah, with someone who's getting 300-plus direct touches, it was an absolute horror show for Julius Randle these playoffs. So yeah. If only we could have seen this Game 6 disaster coming. Oh, wait, we definitely could have. Yeah. Not great, Bob. Not great. So there you go. Bunch of spuds. Mitchell, Harden, Randle, and a couple of just all-timers there with Randle just horrifyingly bad. And Harden just putting the cherry on top of like, hey, here's another shit Sunday for you. I'm James Harden. You're like, oh, God. Who could have seen this coming except for everybody? Right, old mate, no mates.
Old mate, no mates. Old mate, no mates. Old mate, no mates. Old mate, no mates. Old mate, no mates.
Who's got no mates today? Well, we hit on this one earlier. The Miles Turner versus Giannis and Doc Rivers was pretty fucking funny. But Daryl Morey keeps copping strays because we watch your man Julian Champagne go off again today. And you're like, hang on a minute. Wasn't he on the Sixers? And Champagne was the bloke that was waived for Mac McClung so that he could wear a Sixers jersey in the dunk comp. Now, if you think that's like pretty fucking stupid, yeah, you'd be right because Champagne is a starter on a team in the Western Conference Finals. And I got a feeling that the Sixers probably could have used like an extra handy big shooting wing. So, I don't know. It's not exactly as though they sold high on him because they didn't at all. They waived him for a dunk comp champion who didn't play. Daryl Morey just gets worse and worse and worse, doesn't it? Pantsing of the night. My favourite was the double-handed blap on Strus from Orsar Thompson. This was just amazing. Like Strus is like, I'm going to throw a layup, and Orsar goes, 2 hands, no. It's the thing that as you're doing it with both hands, you go blap. It's just the noise that you make when you do it. Blap. Absolutely got him. I also, a bit of a self-pantsing was the McDaniels missed dunk that Fox then turns into a 3, which is pretty brutal. But I loved that Orsar Thompson double-handed block. I love a double-handed block. It's so hard to do. It's just, that's a double-handed pantsing as well. Like Orsar's using both hands, dacked. Gotcha. Finally, better than Lonzo Ball, Bronny James, and Ben Simmons.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. We're coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. How about Dennis Jenkins, 15-3-3 for our undrafted legend. 5'11", shooting 3-7 from downtown. He was very good at +12 in his 31 minutes. But also, Terrence Shannon Jr. in the loss, 21 points for him. He was really, really, really good. 8-15 shooting, 1-3 from deep, 2 rebounds, an assist and a steal in 22 minutes. I think this is the thing. The Wolves have got like this nice sort of depth to them. But Randall has been shit. They lose Dante. Ant-Man's injured. Ayo's injured. And, suddenly you're going, oh, save us, Terrence Shannon Jr. And he's like, I'll try. And you're like, yeah, that's not going to help. Yikes. All right. So there you go. That is our awards. So shall we do a bit of a game preview for Monday morning? Should we do it? Let's do it. All right, let's do it. Game previews. Game previews. Thanks, Invert and Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Yeah, not bad. I'm already a bit cooked. I've still got to go out tonight, but yeah, you get that on the big jobs. Oz kick, trying to, run interference on a 3-year-old who just wants to do everything the big kids are doing. You're like, well, let's just go kick the footy, buddy. And it's like, oof. And then another birthday party and then trying to catch up on all the... So watching it all on my phone and then watching like other bits and bobs here and there. Pretty crazy. Anyway, we get there in the end. So, let's do the game preview for Monday morning. And the 2 greatest words in sports. Game 7th, baby! Thank you, Zaza. Cleveland at Detroit. Game 7, 10 a.m. on Monday morning. Detroit basketball at home, a 4.5-point favorites. Who do you like in this one? I'll tell you what. We know the Pistons have been pretty good. They lose that game 5 at home. Cleveland's first road win of the entire playoffs. 4.5-point underdogs. Your Cleveland Cavaliers having just gone to Detroit and won a game pretty easily by stifling and basically just going, well, if no one else on Detroit hits a shot, we'll win the game. That's what happened. In game 5, that is what happened. Game 6, other dudes hit shots and Cleveland completely fucking forgot how to shoot themselves and shot themselves in the foot and were out of the game. So, yeah. I guess this simply comes down to, like, do you believe that Duncan Robinson, my sweet baby Karis LeVert, Tobias Harris will have, like, a slightly, elevated at-home role player kind of game? Or will the Cavs be buoyed by their pretty excellent showing in Game 5, which again, however, came on the back of a historic second half from Donnie Mitchell? Remember? This is how we do it. No, this is why I'm going to go Detroit. So Donnie Mitchell goes off in that second half of Game 4, and obviously they sort of roll into Game 5. The Pistons still could have won Game 5 at home. That's the game that goes to overtime. Orsar Thompson gets tripped. Could have easily been called a foul. They lose in overtime. They change all the momentum's completely gone against them. Game 6... second half, they wax them. And I've been saying from the very, very, very get-go in this series that Detroit's defense is the one thing that you can rely on, right? It's like reflex. You can rely on reflex. And I want to take Detroit minus 4.5. It's tricky because I kind of, like the 117-113 of Game 5 is probably more where I think this will kind of land. Game 7's usually a rock fight, right? It's either going to be a blowout or a fucking rock fight. And in that case, you tend to want to grab the points and get the plus 4.5. But I think I trust Detroit just enough to cover that 4.5 at home. If you get a little bit more out of Tobias, who is just, oh boy, I think we need to talk. We need to talk about Tobias Harris. Do we? Do we really? Not really, but he has had a couple of games, I'll tell you. It's sort of gone a little bit sideways for our man Tobias the Never Nude. But for all of that, I mean, if he gives them just a little bit of something, they're probably okay. Like today, 2 of 7 for his 6 points. I feel like we might get a little bit more out of him. But yeah, he's gone 20, 21, 21, 16, 13, 6. So it's tailing off pretty badly. But Jalen Durant hopefully balances that back out with another good game at home possibly. But essentially, I'm going to bank on the defense, Orsar, Duran, and I think if you get a couple of threes out of Duncan Robinson, a couple of threes out of Karras, put the pressure on the Cavs, like for Max Strus to have to hit 6 threes, like for Donnie Mitchell to not shit all over his own like pants legs and stuff like that. James Harden in Game 7. Just remind James Harden that he's playing in a Game 7 and watch the antics flow, right? So I think I said this about Game 6 on NBA Coffee Run yesterday. I'm going to keep taking Detroit. I trust the defense, and I trust James Harden in a big moment to not deliver because it's James Harden. Here we are. So, yeah, I think that's where I land. I think I'm going to take Detroit minus 4.5. And then the Western Conference Finals, they start on Tuesday morning. So what we'll do is we'll wrap up Game 7 on Monday. We'll do a Monday show and then set you up for the Western Conference Finals. And then, of course, obviously, we'll know who the Eastern Conference Finalists are. And we'll go from there. Set both of those series up on Monday's show. Western Conference Finals start Tuesday. Eastern Conference Finals will start Wednesday. Western Conference Finals start Tuesday. So, should be awesome. Should be good. Looking forward to it all. And as I said, I hope Detroit win. That's like another part of the pick, I guess, is because I'll be in New York for when they're in town. So, it's going to be great. Nice. Anyway, that is that. All right, so there you go. That's a Saturday show. Pop in, say good day. Go through those 2 games, so it's all done. All set up for Game 7, the baby. And the Western Conference Finals starting on Tuesday. So, yeah, we'll set you up for that properly on Monday, but off we go. So, in the meantime, follow NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, YouTube. We do the NBA Coffee Run video every morning, which is very fun. So Monday will be a particularly good one because we'll have a Game 7, the baby, to talk about. What else? NFL Straya, footy unfiltered, AFL chatter through the roof, having a great time. It's very fun. Go check out that show if you like your footy. Jim does Supercoach if you like your Supercoach as well. Your one-stop shop. Rate, review, star, subscribe across all your podcast apps, YouTube, all that sort of stuff as well. Be very much appreciated if you just bang in a review, leave a comment, do something. It'd be much appreciated. You can also help support the show. buymeacoffee.com/NBA Australia. Join the Dead Set Legends Club. We posted an update about that the other day. What I'm going to do for the Dead Set Legends Club, I think, is go through every single notable, awesome Aussie playoff performance and just be like, I think the best one for the players that we sort of, we like to bang on about, because there's a couple of awesome ones. You think, talking about bangers, Bogey, Lucian, Longley, bit of Ben Simmons, Jingles. Oh, Patty Mills is incredible, closeout in the 2014 finals, that sort of stuff. So that'll be the next Dead Set Legends Club. So go check it out. It's our Patreon, right? So buymeacoffee.com/NBA Australia. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song, as well as to House Hats, Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinator, Goldmines, Ramshackle Army, iOS Extra, Green, and Dozers. Thereby and all the tunes you hear. So smash them on your music streaming platform of choice. All right, nothing to the end of this one. I'm going to get out of here. Leave you to it. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you on Monday, you dickheads. This is NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would ya? Hug your mates, and later, hosen.